Welcome back, Tam Fam. We're with John Allore, whose sister Theresa went missing in 1978, only to be found dead not far from her college campus 5 months later, leaving John's family with more questions than answers. Well, John enlisted the help of an investigative reporter who actually was his former girlfriend, Patricia Pearson, who would go on to write several...
It was November 3rd, 1978, when Theresa Allore, 19 at the time, disappeared from Champlain College, Lennoxville, in the Eastern Townships of Quebec. Theresa grew up in the West Island suburbs of Montreal. She graduated from Pierrefonds Comprehensive High in 1976 and went on to do a semester at Vanier College, but quickly dropped out. Theresa was unsure of what she really wanted to do with herself and used her time to find a job. She worked for a while at a pizzeria where she prepped the pizza dough. Theresa had a circle of friends she would spend time with. They usually enjoyed long conversations mixed with some wine drinking and indulging in pot. Theresa was a lover of music, and her 1977 calendar held all the dates of concerts from her favorite musicians. Theresa's favorite thing to do was to go out and explore the city with friends. She was young, vibrant, and full of energy. On Friday, November 3rd, 1978, Theresa decided that she would return to her apartment and study instead of going out with friends. Theresa lived about 8 kilometers from the main campus, and although there was a bus to carry students to and from the campus, if they missed the bus, they would have to hitchhike. Around this time, there were numerous sexual assaults happening in and around the campus. Not only that, but there was also a potential serial killer or serial killers on the loose in that area. It's unsure whether or not Theresa had hitchhiked that night, but one student claimed to see Theresa at the residence around 9 p.m. This same student claimed that Theresa failed to show up later that night to hang out like they had planned. When Theresa went missing, no one had seemed to notice at first. Her friends were the ones who reported her missing after a week of her disappearance. The police's conclusion was that she had run away, and someone at the school even suggested that Theresa had disappeared because of her lesbian tendencies and that she would need to see a psychiatrist when she turned up. The college also continued to bill the Allore family Theresa's tuition, clearly negligent on their part. 5 months later, on the 13th of April, 1979, Theresa's body was discovered in a small body of water, approximately 1 kilometer from her dormitory residence in Compton, Quebec. She was in nothing but her underwear. The investigation of Theresa Allore's death seemed botched from the beginning, as the man who was in charge of her college residence was never questioned. Strangely, he disappeared shortly after her death, and soon after, the college shut down the residence. The family approached police in 2001, asking for Theresa's clothes and any belongings that was found near her body. The police only handed over some jewelry and stated that there was nothing else. It is believed, but not confirmed, that the evidence has been destroyed. The case went cold and was closed, but was reopened in 2016. The case was now being investigated as a suspicious death instead of a homicide, even though the coroner found evidence of strangulation and bruising on Theresa's body. John Allore, Theresa's brother, started doing an investigation all on his own, knowing that his sister was indeed murdered. Since 2002, John identified 14 other unsolved murders from 1975 to 1981, which he believes is linked with his sister's death. He believes that the unsolved case of Manon Dubé in March of 1978 and Louise Cameron in 1977 is especially linked to Theresa's. Manon Dubé was a 10-year-old Canadian girl from Sherbrooke, Quebec, who went missing on January 27, 1978, and was found dead on March 24, 1978. Dubé was out playing with friends on the day she disappeared. They decided to go sledding and split it up when it started to get dark around 7:30 p.m., which is when Dubé was last seen. Manon's body was found partially frozen, face down, in a stream on March 24, 1978, on Good Friday. She was found wearing the same winter clothes that she was last seen in and had a gash on her forehead. She also suffered broken bones, and it is believed that the young girl may have been sexually abused. The autopsy report suggested that the gash on her head may have been caused by something metal and that she may have been transported to the stream where her body was found. It also indicated that her body was probably at the stream for less than 2 months or less than the time she was missing for. Louise Cameron, who was 20 at the time of her disappearance, was last seen on March 23, 1977, at 8 p.m. at a convenience store. The business owner stated that Louise browsed through some magazines before leaving for the bus stop. On March 25th, her nude body was discovered in a snowdrift in a forest glade, and because her body was discovered so quickly, her cause of death was determined. She had been strangled to death. A bootlace had been cinched around her neck. She had internal injuries, and she was also raped. Her clothes were left beside her body, and there was no sign of her purse. Theresa's case remains unsolved, with her brother John determined to find out what happened to his sister on that night and who is responsible for her death.